Welcome back, Mr. Brown explaining the factorization method using AC. Now, once you're doing AC method, it means that you're supposed to label your coefficients or your terms accordingly. So your A is generally what the coefficient of x squared, or if it's x cubed, depending on what level of math you're at. So A in our case is the coefficient of x squared. Once a variable is by itself, the coefficient is always 1. So x squared is the same thing as imagining that it's 1x squared. So you will label your 1 as A. Your B is the term here. And then C is the final term, along with the sign. So the sign must be included. So if it was a negative, this negative sign must be accounted in A, B, or C. Now, the fact that the method says AC, it means that you are supposed to multiply your values of A and C. So you can write it at one side, A, C. So A is 1, so you put your 1. Times C is positive 2, so it's 2. Now you multiply them. 1 times 2. That gives you 2. So to find your AC, you will multiply your value of A and your value of C. So that's step 1. Step 2. So step 1, label your values as A, B, or C. Step 2, multiply A by C. Now for step 3, write the factors. So step 3, so that's step 3. Write the factors of the product of AC. So AC was 2. So factors meaning what numbers exist in reality that can multiply together to get the value. So if it's 2, you write out the factors. So you already know that 1 times 2 gives you 2. But what else can multiply to give you 2? You also have negative 1 times negative 2, and that can give you the answer of 2. So these are the only 2 numbers that you can multiply, or the only 2 sets of factors that you can multiply together in order to get 2. Now when you get to this stage, you will go on to step 4. And step 4 says, find the factor that when added can give the value of B. So you will look at your factors. So we have negative 1, negative 2, positive 1, positive 2. So those are the factors. So you look at the factor that when you add them together, you can get the value of B. So B is 3. So when you add negative 1 plus negative 2, you won't get 3. You're going to get negative 3. So you know that this would not work. So you can basically cross it out. Then you look at your other factor, 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2, that gives you 3. So that can be workable. That is the workable factors. So it means now that you are going to go on to step 5. Step 5 means you are going to rewrite your equation, your expression, replacing B with the new factors. So you would write your x squared, and you can put your 1 on it if you want. So x squared plus, remember now we are going to replace B with its factors. So it's 1 and 2 that you replace it with. So you put 1x plus 2x. So 1 plus 2, that gives you 3. And you have to add the x to it because this had an x being attached to it. So plus your c, which is 2. So that gives you your original expression. When you get to this part, you will pair them up. So this is one pair, and you know that 2 numbers gives you a pair. and this is pair number 2. So you look at each pair individually and find what is common between the pairs and put it on the outside. So x squared and 1x, what is common between them? X is common. So you put your x on the outside. Now, you will try to divide what's in the bracket by the number that you place, or the term or variable that you place on the outside. So x squared divided by x. You can, if you don't know how to do it, you can basically say x times x. That gives you x squared. And then you put your x here. So if you take out an x out of it, you are left with 1x. So you just write x plus 1x times x. You could basically see it as 1 times x. So if you are supposed to take out an x, you are only left with 1. Now the sign here is a plus sign. So let me write it perfect. So plus sign. So you put it back. Now you look at your second pair. What is similar? 2x and 2. So 2 is similar. So you put your 2 on the outside. 2x divided by 2, it's basically saying. So this is 2x. 2 times x. That's what 2x is. And it's divided by the number 2. So if you take out a 2, you're only left with the letter x. And now 2 divided by 2, that always gives you 1. So any number divided by itself automatically gives you 1. Now this is the line that you're at. Now whatsoever is in one bracket must always be found in the other bracket. That's a rule basically. Both brackets must always be equal. Now because both brackets are equal, you can write it once in your next line. So x plus 1. And you write it once. Now for the other bracket, you are going to have is what's on the outsides of each bracket. And you generally start writing from your left to your right. So x is on the outside, so you put it inside. Plus 2 or positive 2 is on the outside as well, so you put it on the inside. And this would be the factors for x squared plus 3x plus 2. So this is your final answer. So let's see if we can recap. Step 1. Label your terms A, B, C. Step 2. Multiply your A value by your C value, and you'll get an answer. Step 3. Write the factors of the product of AC. So whatever your value is, the answer is, you'll write out your various factors that can give you that value. Then you move on to step 4. Find the factor that when added can give the value of B. So you look at your B and you'll see, look at the factors that you would have written out and see which one of them can be added together in order to get the value. When you get that, you'll do step 5, which would be replacing B. So step 5 would have been replace B with the new factors. So you replace B with the numbers that you would have found that when added together can give it to you. And then step 6, pair them up. So 6, pair them. And then from pairing them, you will do the normal factorizing by taking out what's common between the pairs and put it on the outside. And when you do that, you will be left with terms that are the same in the bracket, and you rewrite that once, and then what's on the outside, you'll put them together in a new bracket. And that's how you do factorizing using the AC method. And just in case you do not remember how to factor out normally, I'm going to have to create a new video on factorizing normal expressions so you can have a better understanding when watching this video. So tune in again next time with Mr. Brown as I explain other mathematical terms.
Thank you.